Welcome into Wilmington Wildcats Weekly, brought to you by Breezer Construction Company. As we move on to week number 4 here in the Wilmington Wildcats football season. Cats back at home tonight to take on Piatone here at Jeff Ring Stadium at Becker Field, as Piatone will receive the opening kickoff. I believe, if I have this interpreted right, that Wilmington won the toss and deferred to the second half. So Piatone will receive to begin half number 1, and we still have plenty of time before that gets underway. And there is weather all over the place tonight. We're hoping that it stays away here from Jeff Ring Stadium tonight, because we would really like to get this game in, at least a full half in, no matter what happens here, so we can avoid coming back on a Saturday. I don't think anyone wants to do that.
No, I'm sure nobody wants to do that. In fact, our announcer over here said he's going to work at being nothing but a slob or a slouch all weekend.
Being sedentary, yes.
Sedentary. He said the school's had him running all over the state, and he's ready to relax for a while.
Well, I don't disagree with him there.
I don't either.
That's for sure something that I would like to see happen myself. So hopefully we can get things working here tonight, and we'll make sure that we have everything up to speed. By the way, I'm kind of working on some things here, too, to make sure our stream is up and working. At the moment, I don't see anything.
That pulled a wicked turn on us last week. We didn't know it.
All right. Well, let's take a brief timeout here while I figure this whole thing out. And we'll be back here in just a little bit on the Christian Internet Sports Network. Ricchetti's Cafe and Pizzeria in Coal City is all about relaxing with family and friends while sharing an authentic Italian festival of food. They are the home of the Chicago-style deep dish pizza, but they also have a full menu, including pastas, burgers, salads, and more. Check out all of their daily specials, too, online at ricchettis.net. Ricchetti's Cafe and Pizzeria is at 375 South Broadway in Coal City, and they are open till midnight or later every night. Stop in for an authentic Italian experience at Ricchetti's. ACN representative Peter Treby is helping people just like you save money on their bills every month. ACN has deals in place for high-speed internet, wireless service, energy, television, home phone service, and home security. It's simple. All you have to do is click on the ACN link, fill out an analysis form, and Peter will tell you how you can start saving money today with ACN. Breezer Construction Company is a proud supporter of Wilmington Wildcats football on the Christian Internet Sports Network. For over 30 years, Breezer Construction Company has led the way in providing quality construction to the industrial, utility, and pipeline industries. For more information on Breezer Construction Company, go to breezerconstruction.com. That's breezerconstruction.com, or call 815-521-0900. Back here with the Wildcats Weekly, brought to you by Breezer Construction. A little bit of herky-jerky here tonight. So we had some issues last week. We're trying to make sure to get everything resolved here for you tonight. I think we do have it all set and ready to go. I was in semi-panic mode because I couldn't get it to work on my end, but I think it just takes a minute or two for it to pop up in that YouTube window. So I think we are good to go here tonight. Cats and Blue Devils out there on the field right now getting set for tonight's matchup as Wilmington comes into tonight's game at 3-0 on the year, and Piatone at 1-2. Piatone coming off a surprising 20-0 loss at Reed Custer last week, and the Comets getting a win here this year. Reed Custer going into tonight's game at 2-1 to take on the 2-1 Lisle Lions, and who knows? Reed Custer seems to be pointed in the right direction anyway. So.
That's what I was talking about on our way into the stadium here tonight. I wonder about Reed Custer because their last year freshman class was a fantastic group that just simply mowed everybody else down. I wonder if they moved any of those up this year to the varsity because the varsity was kind of sparse. So maybe they've done that.
Yeah, interesting all the way around in the I-8 tonight. We'll have that full schedule for you. There is weather in the area. From what we understand here in the press box tonight, that weather should stay away till 9:30 or 10. So for everything going on here at the moment, we should be able to get into tonight's game at least deep enough to consider it a complete game when it needs to be. And that's the thing for Wilmington tonight. This is kind of like a NASCAR race tonight. You want to be sure to get out in front early because you know weather's coming. And that way, if something gets canceled after halftime or whatever, you have the lead and you get a win. This is not one of those things where you want to wait to the last minute to go ahead tonight. Because if for some odd reason we get a thunderstorm here and they cancel this game as like the midway point of the third quarter, you want to be sure to be on top of that.
Yeah, because if it lightnings, they'll shut it down.
So it is very much like a NASCAR race where they keep an eye on the sky and the weather and all that, and make sure you're out in front and do gas mileage stuff, whatever you got to do to be in front when that weather gets here, because you never know. Now,
is it halftime they have to be ahead by?
Well, I don't know if there is a technical. I would say probably end of third quarter is probably the technical cutoff point, but I know in the past, if it's been after half, teams have come to an agreement based on score. I know the IHSA has particular rules regarding that too. Let's just say you want to be ahead at halftime. Let's just go there, and we'll deal with the rest later.
I mean, in baseball, it was 5 innings, so I didn't know if they had a three-quarter limit or a halftime limit. But okay, we'll go ahead. Hopefully.
All right, week 4 of the football season about set to get underway. We'll take a break here tonight. When we come back, we will go down scores from last week and set up the I-8 games across the area here tonight. And a little bit later on, we'll talk to Coach Jeff Reitz as well. Here's the pregame show rolls on. Wilmington Wildcats Weekly brought to you by Breezer Construction Company. Back here in just a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Quigley Technology Services is your local source for computer help. They have built numerous websites, including ours, here at the Christian Internet Sports Network. Quigley Technology Services also specializes in virus removal, so your computer will get back to full speed now. And you can trust them for first-class computer repair, including free local pickup and delivery, plus on-site service, including after hours. Contact Quigley Technology Services at 815-293-7844 or stop by at quigtech.com. That's QUIG Tech.com. Phelan Acres Bible Church is the perfect place if you are looking for a church to call home. They have services every week, including Sunday school at 9:45, morning worship at 11, and Wednesday night prayer meetings at 7. Phelan Acres Bible Church is located at 26009 Willow Lane in Wilmington, Illinois. And for more information, call 815-476-7818. That's 815-476-7818. If you're looking for more information on Wilmington Wildcats football, then check out the Catbackers every Wednesday at 7 at Tuffy's. Each week, Coach Reitz goes over game film, takes questions from the audience, and presents the Offensive and Defensive Player of the Week awards. Plus, you'll get to hang out with other Wildcat fans and get the inside scoop on next week's game. So be sure to check out the Catbackers every Wednesday at 7 at Tuffy's.
This is Wilmington Wildcats Weekly, brought to you by Breezer Construction Company as we get set for Wilmington and Peatone tonight in the small division of the Interstate 8. Before we get to that, however, let's look at some of the results from last week and get you set up for this week, too. Some scores from last week. Mantino defeated Sandwich 42-14. No real shock there as Mantino back to their winning ways. Coal City shut out Streeter 31-0. It was Lyle 47, Seneca 6. And another interesting score from last week, Herscher a 25-8 winner over Plano. And Reed Custer out of Braidwood a 20-0 winner over this exact same Peatone team that we're seeing here tonight. And Wilmington, of course, a 61-14 win over Westmont. The Cats had 55 points at halftime last week and could have easily had 62, but decided to take a knee with a minute left in the half on the Westmont 3, or else it could have gotten uglier much quicker.
Yeah, that was nice of Coach to do that. And, of course, they had a meeting at halftime, the coaches did, and agreed to put their substitutes in and let them play, and that was good.
Yeah, that's one of the things that Coach Reitz was talking with me about. You know, him and Otto have a pretty good relationship. Otto Zeman, the coach at Westmont, and they said, this is what we're going to do for the second half. And they kind of laid out things a little bit. So both coaches knew what was going on. There'd be no surprises. And they just went ahead and kind of went through the motions in the second half, trying to keep people healthy and give as many kids as possible a chance to play, too.
Yeah,
so.
It's kind of a practice game for all the substitutes, and that was good, a good half of it.
All right, some other scores from last week that are not I-8 scores. In 3A at least, people are interested in Bishop Mack. St. Lawrence beat them 49-7 last week. Two more losses, and Bishop Mack is eliminated from 3A contention, and they might get 2 more losses, actually. St. Joseph Ogden shut out Monmouth 41-0. St. Joseph Ogden has just destroyed people in the last 2 weeks after getting destroyed by Wilmington in week 1, so that's interesting. Immaculate Conception out of Elmhurst, they're ranked number 1 in 3A right now with Wilmington number 2. Immaculate Conception defeated Elmwood Park 56-0 last week.
Oh, my.
Joliet Catholic went down in defeat 49-35 to Chicago St. Pat's. When was the last time that Bishop Mack and Joliet Catholic were both 0-3? That's a good trivia question to go back on quite a ways.
You'd have to go quite a ways, too.
And in one of the most bizarre scores of the week, Chicago Hope, a 91-0 win over Varna Midland. 91-0. That's not a misprint. Around the I-8 tonight, Coal City will be at Manteno. Boy, that's probably the big game of the night. Coal City at 3-0, taking on 2-1 Manteno in the big division of the I-8. Sandwich at 0-3 will be at 1-2 Plano. Even though neither one of those teams is real strong this year, Plano and Sandwich are within 6 or 7 miles of each other. So that's a real interesting matchup there. Westmont at 1-2 will be at Seneca. 1-2, that's a toss-up for you. Herscher at 3-0 will be at 1-2 Streeter. Lyle at 2-1 will be over at Braidwood tonight, taking on Reed Custer. That team at 2-1 too, so keep an eye on that score for you. And then, of course, here tonight, Wilmington at 3-0 will take on 1-2 Piatone. So some good games around the area, highlighted by that Coal City and Manteno matchup going on here tonight over in Manteno. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll get to the interview with Coach Jeff Raines. We'll do that here in just a moment. You're listening to Wilmington Wildcats Weekly, brought to you each and every week by Breezer Construction Company. Back with the interview with Coach Raines in just a moment here on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
If you need something done around your house, chances are Beth's Busy Bees can get it done. They specialize in residential and commercial cleaning, but they can also do lawn care, small home remodeling and repair jobs, and even things like caregiving. Beth's Busy Bees is a small family-owned business, and they will treat you right every time. Call 815-685-9111 for Beth's Busy Bees today. Warren's Collision Center is your hometown body shop. Your vehicle will get expert care with their drive-on frame rack and in their Bink spray booth. Warren's offers free estimates, pickup and delivery service, and they will get you set up with a loaner car while yours is in the shop. Warren's Collision Center is located at 242 North Front Street in Braidwood, or online anytime at warrenscollision.com. That's warrenscollision.com. Warren's Collision Center, where they care beyond the repair. Welcome back here on Wilmington Wildcats Weekly, brought to you by Breezer Construction Company, joined once again by the head coach of the Wildcats, Mr. Jeff Raines. And Coach, last week, one of those games where it got out of control relatively early, and before halftime you had a lot of those second-team guys in, but a good opportunity for everybody top to bottom to play in a good win over Westmont.
Well, it really was, and we got off to a good start. Some of that, too, was due to Westmont making a few mistakes, but able to capitalize on some of their turnovers. Nice black punt by Keaton Hansen. Then we're able to run the ball in. I thought Owen had another good night. Offensive line-wise, we blocked well. Nice pass by Treadman to Keaton for a nice bootleg pass touchdown. Defensively, we let the ball get behind us once, but besides that, I thought our kids did a nice job. So nice win for us. Got to get a lot of kids playing time, which for our younger kids, that's always big, and very good for us to be 1-0 in the conference.
You know, one of the things that caught us off guard was going to that shotgun look with Dempsey back there at quarterback. That completely took us off guard.
Yeah, you know, it's just something that's a little different. You know, we know down the line people are just try to take away Owen. And I'm not saying they haven't tried to yet, and we've had some success, but I think it's another way for us to use our guys in a different way, and you have to prepare a little differently. I think Connor's a special kid. as a sophomore to be running that for us. I think Jeff Chudman can do it for us too back there. So, it was a game for us not only to stay on top of our fundamentals, but also maybe we could try a few things we did on defense, and for the most part we did well, but one coverage we messed up. But hopefully we can use those experiences and build from that.
One of the things, special team-wise, the other night, a little bit of up and down. You give up the onside kick right off the bat, but then a couple of really deep kicks that were kind of surprising to us, I think, how deep you get the kickoffs.
Yeah, it really was. Alex Hatton did a nice job. I think we're doing a better job of covering things than we were earlier in the year. And special teams is such a huge part, and that's something we learned 2 years ago in our state run. How many important special team plays did we have? But Alex Hatton's doing a great job for us. And, we got to keep building on that. We want to win in all three phases of our game, including special teams, so hopefully we can continue.
And just continuing the special teams thing real quick, as far as extra points and that whole unit goes, really nice job from Dustin all the way back.
Dustin Kelly does a great job of snapping for us. Barry works with him. Mason did a great job snapping a couple years ago. Dustin stepped in, did a nice job. And then Jeff Chudman with our hold, and Alex Hatton with our kicking our extra points and our field goals, and even with our punting. You saw Keaton Hansen can punt well, Sam Jones punt well against Mantino, and so we're very fortunate to have some depth in those places.
All right, you get Piatone tonight, and in what's been, once again, a weird I-8 schedule, Piatone loses 20-0 to Reed Custer last week in a score that kind of surprised everyone, especially since Piatone played Mantino so close beginning of the year.
It really was, and I think a little bit of it was Piatone. Don't know if they were overlooking Reed Custer, but kudos to Reed Custer for what they did. Piatone had a lot of penalties, had an injury to their quarterback, I know, but they're a good ball club. They play us well. Last year we had a real struggle with them over at their place, and so they're going to come over here ready to go. And we need to get our intensity back to where it was for that Mantino and St. Joe game. I don't think it was there last week, so let's get that going and let's see how well we can play against them.
One of the things that I was looking back on, you had St. Joe week 1, and seeing what they've done week 2, week 3. I know the first part of that game was kind of one of those weird 4 or 5 turnovers real quick kind of things. But that win now looks pretty good for what St. Joe's done since week 1.
It really has, and give those coaches and their kids credit, and that's what a good program does. They went back to the look at some film and to make some. I'm sure they made a lot of changes since our game. I'm sure they're not turning the ball over like they have since then, and they haven't lost yet. So they beat a good Quincy Notre Dame team, and then they really had a blowout against Monmouth Roseville, I think, last week. So, which is good for us. We want to get those playoff points, and then obviously we want Mantino to keep winning also. And it was good that Seneca right now is. Are they undefeated? No, they got beat by last week, but they were 2-0. Reed Custer now is 2-1. They had a win in one of their first 2 games, and so a lot of our teams in I-8 doing well.
Reed Custer is one of those weird things too, because their freshman team last year was really strong. If they can keep those kids together, you're starting to see a little bit of growth this year, and maybe there's something starting there a little bit.
I agree. I think Coach Wolf is counting on those sophomores. I'm sure the question he had to deal with, how many of those kids are we going to move up? And then how many kids are going to stay down with that sophomore group. But, he's got some things to work with. He showed that last week against Piatone, and which is just going to make our conference that much stronger.
And Piatone, again, tonight, one of those teams where you kind of get that same thing every year, big guys up front. They tend to pound the ball at you more times than not. And last week, a really kind of sloppy game, a lot of rain, which, ironically enough, and awesomely enough, we didn't get any in Westmont.
Right. And so, it's a lot of factors went into that too. But Piatone will play us well. I don't know, like I said, Catbackers there tonight. There's a rival there with them. And it's not Cole Stadium, it's not Braidwood, but boy, a lot of people know each other from both communities, and it's not far for each other. And so, if the rain stays away, I'm sure it'll be a packed house. And so we're hoping for a good turnout. We're hoping to play well.
All right, and lastly tonight, injuries. As far as I know, there aren't any, but I always ask just in case.
No, we're all good. As a matter of fact, Andy Gramlich, who hurt himself prior to the season, is starting to practice with us this week. So that was our biggest one. And, knock on wood, we know something's going to happen at some time. It's the game of football. Hopefully we don't get a major one.
All right, Coach, good luck tonight. We'll talk to you again in the postgame.
All right, sounds good.
Coach Jeff Raines joining us here at Wilmington Wildcats Weekly, brought to you by Breezer Construction Company. One more break. We'll come back with opening kick here tonight between Wilmington and Piatone. We'll do that in just a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Welcome back. Teresa's Family Styling Salon in Wilmington is an all-ages salon that will style your hair for that special look. They offer cuts, perms, and coloring for any fashion. They also carry Paul Mitchell and Brocato products. Teresa's Family Styling Salon is located in the Southgate Plaza in Wilmington, and you can call for an appointment at 815-476-1955. That's 815-476-1955.
Just about set for opening kick